So why don't you all tell me how the Community Grocer started?
Winter rolls around and we're staffed. The USDA is sending trucks all over the country of multiple pallets stacked with large cardboard boxes of bulk ingredients. And so we were staffed on the corner of 30th and Moore, along with Mr. Reeves and the Unity in the Community organization, distributing hundreds of cardboard boxes every Monday, full of bulk ingredients, onions, apples, chicken, cheese, that you just had to take the box, and we'd help you bring it home or we'd bring it upstairs. But the ingredients didn't add up to a recipe. And that's really where we began thinking with food and the role that food plays in our daily lives and the routines and the rituals that we have with ingredients, with retail, where we source our food, how we eat it. And similarly, what were our relationships with food? What are they now? And where do they need to go?
Yeah, and it was really, in Alex and I's experience leaving Penn and joining Philadelphia, right, with Mr. Reeves, doing the after-school programs, doing voter registration work, and then passing out these food boxes, that it was our first entry, after several years in Philadelphia, actually entering the community. And it was being there on the street corner every Monday, rain, sleet, snow, heat, passing out these boxes for 8 hours a day that we had the time to banter, to learn, and to chat with neighbors. And it was understanding that these excess bulk ingredients that didn't add up to a recipe were not the solution to hunger, short-term or long-term. For our seniors who couldn't even lift the boxes, for our youth who, you remember being 12 years old, what are you gonna do with a raw chicken and raw potatoes? Or for our working mothers who have 3 jobs, are driving, who don't have a car, right? The stove's off at home, and the nearest grocery store is still 2 miles away, 2 buses away, and they're not running during the pandemic to even complete this bulk ingredient box to make a recipe, if you can even do that. And it was understanding that this wasn't the solution, but asking our neighbors, well, what are you doing instead? And it kept coming back to is I'm going to the corner store, in which Philadelphia has 3,000 independently owned corner stores across the city, and buying chips and soda and Hot Pockets because that's what's sold, that's what's convenient within walking distance, and that's what my pandemic EBT dollars can spend and buy. And it was in that understanding just asking the natural second question, which is this what you're looking for? And the overwhelming response was no. It was, I wish I could use my EBT, my food stamps, my SNAP benefits for something hot, healthy, delicious within walking distance, but I can't. And with our neighbors on the corner, we had this idea for what became the Community Grocer, which is reinventing the existing infrastructure, reinventing the corner store, and reimagining nutritional assistance to ensure that our neighbors have access to the ingredients to live stronger, healthier lives. And what that really means is an all-day menu of farm-fresh ingredients that are pre-packaged, pre-sorted, pre-marinated, but not cooked, in meal kits, so they're EBT and WIC eligible. And then pairing that with a federally funded workforce development kitchen next door, off premises, that specializes in transforming those ingredients into the meals that our neighbors are looking for. So for the first time ever, legally and in full compliance with the policy, our neighbors on EBT, WIC, SNAP, whether Cash App, anything, can have access to a delicious, healthy, nutritious, empowering meal. And that was the idea that was born on the block.
A store like this doesn't exist. And I'm trying to understand why it doesn't exist. How can we have settled on chips and soda being really the only, unit economics that work for so many neighborhoods across this country? What's it gonna take to understand the nuance so that we can actually get that farm fresh supply of ingredients to neighborhoods, pay a staff? Our building, we're gonna have 15 employees in one corner store. It's, much more than the traditional 1 or 2 people, right? And how can this be an economic pillar, but really a institution for the entire community to steward? And so building a nonprofit store is so important, especially because we don't own it. We govern resources and stakeholders so that together we can see this vision through. And so on our block, right, all of our neighbors get to say that they own this store too, right? As a 501c3 public charity, there are no owners, everybody is an owner. And that the way that we can continue and strive every day to create the pride and ownership across generations, that this is your store. So those conversations of what does the menu need to look like? What facet of this enterprise, of the way that we're gonna be caring for each other, do you wanna participate in? Knowing that you can serve an advisory role at every level of what this store needs to be. So as we think through the governance structures and the frameworks for the first store, how do we ensure that our neighbors in South and Southwest Philly and West Philly and Cobbs Creek get to be the ones who run this? Our Inquirer article, after our groundbreaking, hit 16 million views. 40 of the 50 states, public health commissioners, hunger agencies, veterans organizations asking us, what are you doing with SNAP and how can we do it where we are? We are pioneering new compliance solutions for a federal policy that addresses access in all 50 states, but it starts here in West Philly, and it starts with putting our neighbors at the forefront of every decision we make. And as long as we continue to do that, the sky is the limit.
So in this 4-year journey of going from boxes on the corner to TCG about to start construction, what are some moments that stick with you?
You know, it's always hard because we're in the weeds every day trying to bring this vision to life, but to know that we're doing it in the right way because it is being truly led by our neighbors where everyone feels this sense of ownership and pride. And that's, you know, those lessons we learned from Gray's Ferry, from Tasker, that experience with food boxes wasn't one of entitlement and pride and ownership, but one of a top-down approach. And taking those lessons learned and improving and growing and learning every day to build this where everyone is empowered, everyone feels ownership, and that it just makes sense to everyone. That, I think, was one of my most recent favorite memories, but there'll be more to come.
So this has all been super interesting, but if anyone wanted to get involved, if they're from Philly or an alum or a current student, how do they reach out to you guys?
Yeah, you know, all our information's on our website, but the core of what TCG is, Community Grocer, is community. And to join our community just starts with a conversation, with an email. Just reach out and ask about ways to get involved. And of course, like I'm gonna say it, definitely donate. We need all the support we can get, but that's not just financial. It is financial, but it's not just financial. It's your wisdom, it's your knowledge, it's your understanding, it's your expertise. And that our neighbors, you know, our community started neighbor by neighbor, block by block, but now our community is the entire country and everyone who's willing to participate in this collective journey. So that's how I would say get involved.
Yeah. Along this entire journey, we've really been pushing the bounds of what a donation is. And so whether it's our neighbors thinking with us and spending an hour talking about a menu, like that's a donation. Time is some of our most valuable resource that we have, right? And so understanding the ways that everybody is contributing to really shaping this vision and seeing what our goals are and what success means. So whether it's your time, whether it's your expertise, whether it's financial, you know, whether it's large corporations stepping in and making unrestricted grants, it takes everybody, and to really understand where you can deploy your resources to help see this vision, knowing that in the blink of an eye, it really, you know, will be ready to be in a neighborhood where you are too.
And that was, you know, where Penn came in. They came in with a donation, a $100,000 donation, but also the donation of their name by saying we give our stamp of approval. And that gave us the legitimacy to get this journey started 4 years ago. And look where we're at today, in a very white room.
That's goofy. That's a good one. That's for Twitter. Cut.